Hello, Durud and Shalom.
Good morning.
We live. Good morning and good afternoon, good evening, and good night, whatever, depending on where you are. Ali has good news for us, apparently. I'm excited. Ali, you have good news? Oh,
Guys, I think we didn't have to freak out yesterday. I think
oh.
what I was saying about how the deal hasn't even been made and that we have to see what happens, what the response is from the IRGC. Well, we kind of have responses from the IRGC. Semi-official statements from Vahidi, from IRGC, who's posted a sticker shaking his head, and multiple others, along with some people like Busra Sheikh and Hussein Abdul Hussein, who likes to make fun of the Iranian people. We're going to bring that all to you guys with images and videos of Saudi Arabia's defense ministry posting a video, Marco Rubio giving an epic speech, and President Trump posting several things on Truth Social that makes us think that perhaps a deal is not to be made. We also have Tasnim News, which is IRGC state media, come out with multiple statements, and Bibi Netanyahu come out with his own personal statement as well. Looks like we are only missing a few statements from a few key people like Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, and perhaps a follow-up from Donald Trump directly. But most people have weighed in and given their thoughts on what happened yesterday. And I'd just like to take a second and tell you guys that there is no deal to be made. Okay, I said this yesterday, and I've said this whole time, because of one just super simple thing. The IRGC won't give up the uranium, and President Trump won't leave without getting it. That is it. Whatever else they say, they can talk as much as they'd like. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, I can't wait to get started. Let's go through it.
Let's do
Those
it.
are a lot of important updates. Just
Yeah.
let me answer this person. By the way, bring it up. Share your screen. Somebody, Casey was saying, where are the protests that were supposed to happen? There was no protest supposed to be happening before the IRGC and the Basijis were weakened enough for the Iranian people to come out to do an uprising. In fact, the Iranian people were told by Prince Reza Pahlavi, President Trump, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and Admiral Cooper to not do an uprising. In fact, the Iranian people wanted to do an uprising, and they were told not to because it's not time yet. And it's, if you have been hearing that there was supposed to be an uprising, you were fooled by mainstream media who for some fucking reason are not actually following the news, or on purpose, or basically lying to you on purpose. So you have been lied to. It was the exact opposite of what you have been told. So if you actually want to actually be informed, subscribe to our channels, because we actually inform you, unlike these other people who are lying to you. But yeah.
All right. So President Trump came out with multiple truth statement posts, this one being probably the most important signal. So today, Donald Trump said that one of the worst deals ever made by our country was the Iran nuclear deal, put forth and signed into existence by Barack Hussein Obama and the rank amateurs of the Obama administration. And he goes on to say that it was the best way for the IRGC to go on and develop a nuclear weapon, which is exactly the opposite of what the Trump administration wants to do. He's saying that the negotiations are proceeding in an orderly and constructive manner, and he's informed his representatives not to rush into a deal and that time is on our side. The blockade will remain in full force in effect until an agreement is reached, certified, and signed. Both sides must take their time and get it right. There can be no mistakes. Our relationship with Iran is becoming a much more professional and productive one. They must understand, however, that they cannot develop or procure a nuclear weapon or bomb. I would like to thank thus far all the countries of the Middle East for their support and cooperation, which will be further enhanced and strengthened by their joining the nations of the historic Abraham Accords. And who knows, perhaps the Islamic Republic of Iran would like to join as well. Just a couple of hints here. He's saying that if this deal is made, then unity in the Middle East will be achieved because a lot of these countries will join the Abraham Accords. And probably hinting at a free Iran as well. I mean, that's open to interpretation.
Well, the Islamic Republic would never join the Abrahamic Accord, and we wouldn't even let them if they wanted to, obviously. But the main 2 points is that I'm seeing from this is one, President Trump continues to insist on the nuclear side of this. Can you read more importantly, the most important part to me is that the blockade will remain. That is the most important part.
The blockade will remain in full force and effect until an agreement is reached, certified, and signed.
Yeah, so that means, like, at least for now, the regime is not going to be using the time that is going by to get stronger, because the blockade is crippling the regime. So the fact that the blockade hasn't for now been removed, that's a good sign. What was the part that can you read the part about the nuclear, red lines?
Yeah, he said, so our relationship is becoming better with Iran, but they cannot develop or procure a nuclear weapon or bomb.
Okay. Again, I always prefer if this was about the uranium rather than nuclear weapon, because the Islamic regime always signals anyways that they're not going to have a bomb. But if they says they can never procure a bomb like forever, the only way to do that is to get a deal that is so humiliating to the regime that it will cause their toppling. And I just don't see a deal like that happening at all, unless the only way to get out of this is to for the Islamic Republic and United States to pretend that this was about the Islamic Republic coming out and saying, okay, we agree, we'll never get a bomb. That's the only way that you could get out of that. But it would be very hard for the American side to sell this as an achievement, because we already had that with Ali Khamenei lying about them never having a nuclear bomb anyways. We already had that to begin with. So what would be the point of all of this war if that's the aim? You need, so I think, you can't have a deal that would be anything other than a surrender deal, because a deal that would be include the Islamic Republic saying, okay, we're not going to have a bomb, is obviously not a deal at all that could show that the Americans want anything, because we already had that with that lie from the Islamic Republic with Ali Khamenei. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. In fact, to reassure people even a bit more, I'm going to show you guys in order Marco Rubio talking about this, then IRGC state media, then Ahmad Vahidi, and then Benjamin Netanyahu. You guys ready?
Also, there's a post by Prime Minister, by Prince Reza Pahlavi. We should also include that.
Oh, okay. Did that just come out, or did I miss that?
That was.
All right. Well, here we go with Marco Rubio.
No one who has been stronger on this issue than President Trump. Okay. Multiple political leaders, multiple presidents of the United States have all said the same thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. The only one who's tried to do anything and has actually done anything about it in a real way has been President Trump. So his commitment to that principle that they'll never have a nuclear weapon shouldn't be questioned by anybody. And the idea that somehow this president, given everything he's already proven he's willing to do, is going to somehow agree to a deal that ultimately winds up putting Iran in a stronger position when it comes to nuclear ambitions is absurd. That's just not going to happen. But our preference is to address this through a diplomatic means. And that's what we're endeavoring to do here. I think we've made some progress. I'm always cautious when I say that, because you can agree to things on paper, they actually have to be implemented. You can agree to things in writing, and then you actually have to go out and do it. And but I do think perhaps there is the possibility that over the next few hours, the world will get some good news, at least with regards to the Straits and with regards to a process that can ultimately leave us where the president wants us to be. And that is a world that no longer has to be in fear.
All right. So even if a deal is reached verbally, it has to be signed and then put into agreement. That's the most difficult part. They can say whatever they want.
I don't see a deal being made by the Islamic Republic that would guarantee that they will never have a nuclear weapon. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, that deal does not exist. That deal does not exist. So this is why that deal doesn't exist, because any deal that the Islamic Republic, just like I pinky promise that I will never have a nuclear weapon, requires the Americans to release funds and money to the Islamic Republic now for a promise that the Islamic Republic is going to make for something in the future. So the only way for President Trump to get to a situation where we will know the Islamic Republic will never be able to get a nuclear weapon ever is for us to not have an Islamic Republic to have a nuclear weapon. That's the only way. There is no other way. There is no deal. There is absolutely no deal that will get you that guarantee. So if you want a guarantee, the only guarantee is the toppling of the Islamic Republic. The only guarantee. No deal will give you that guarantee.
What is to stop the Islamic Republic from just giving their uranium, and let's just say that deal is made, which would never will be, and then getting more a couple years from now and doing it again? They know how to. They know how to enrich it. You can't take that knowledge away. So how do you stop them? What Armin just said. Just get rid of them. Get rid of them.
We got 2 super chats. Thank you, guys. BT is saying, date update. We invited Ali, triple date. Okay, so BT and Nara are going out. You're invited as well, Ali. Okay, thank you, BT. Thank you for the invitation. And then we have Teresa with the $5 super sticker. Thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you so much for supporting us. Appreciate that. We're 2 out of 10 super chats. Our goal is 10 per day. Oh, your flag just fell.
Yeah, it just fell. I stretched my arms and then it fell. Yeah, I can get super chats in maybe a couple weeks, because I heard, so YouTube has to verify my watch hours, then I apply, then I heard it takes a week or 2 or something like that to get approved. So soon, guys, soon.
Javid is saying, is it possible that people are already being armed, not to the scale that is necessary at all, not even close? If it even got close to the scale that was necessary, it would be obvious. There's the scale that is necessary to topple the regime. It's at a scale that would be you wouldn't be able to hide that. You wouldn't be able to hide that. Like, it would be apparent.
Yeah. Also, my biggest fear for that is someone blabbing, someone just running their mouth and talking about it.
That's not an issue, because the scale that we're talking about would be something that blabbing would be not an issue, because it would be visible. It would be so. That's why you can't do it. You could only arm the Iranian people to a scale that is secret for special operations, like what Mossad does, not for liberation. Not for the mass liberation of cities, right? If you arm the Iranian people at a scale that is required for liberation of cities, it will be public knowledge. It will become so obvious that this is happening. And to do that, you need cities or geographical areas that are being protected, because you can't hide that from the Islamic Republic. What you need is aerial protection of certain areas while you're doing that.
That makes sense. All right, we'll keep it there. All right.
Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, and so that was last night. Marco Rubio is in India. So for us, that would be last night. And he's talking about how in just a few hours, we're going to have an update on the situation. So hopefully that means today. And then he said again, President Trump's not going to make a bad deal. He's not going to let them have a nuclear weapon.
I hope so.
So in response, we had IRGC owned Tasnim News come out, and they made a statement which says the term ceasefire extension is not included in the agreement. And this is super important for me. Your screen had a seizure. Oh, can you guys see my screen? Can you see
No,
my screen?
don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Continue.
So the ceasefire extension is a big danger, okay, for the Iranian people. I don't know how much more they can take. I don't want to see them suffer more. That's all I care about. Okay. The regime's plan is pretty apparent. I don't know about you, Armin, but I think that the regime's plan is to just drag this on for as long as possible. Yeah, we'll give you guys this, and then tomorrow, I don't know, the US is being difficult, and just extend it for as long as possible. At what point are we going to stop letting them do that? I don't know. I don't know. But hopefully soon. So, according to reports obtained by Tasnim regarding the potential agreement, and contrary to a claim by an American media outlet suggesting a 60-day extension, which was, I think, the New York Times, yeah, the ceasefire between Iran and the U.S., that phrase doesn't exist in the document. So the language used instead was about a declaration of the cessation of hostilities on all fronts. You want to stop the fighting everywhere, including Lebanon. And they did talk about a 30-day period for discussions about the Strait of Hormuz and the blockade, and a 60-day period for the nuclear negotiations. That's not finalized. That's just not a thing yet. And I don't want it to be a thing. I don't want to see another 60 days of us trying to negotiate with these people.
So for Tasnim is not obviously not a source of news, right? Tasnim is the source of regime propaganda. So when we're reviewing Tasnim, what we need to get from Tasnim is not what is happening. What we get from Tasnim is supposed to be what is the regime trying to what are they trying to convince their followers with? That's the lens that you have when you're looking at Tasnim news, right? So looking at it again and trying to understand what the IRGC own Tasnim news is saying when they say the term ceasefire extension is not included in the agreement, why are they saying that? The reason why they're saying that is because pro-regime Iranians are as against the deal as we are, right? Pro-regime Iranians are under the delusion that they are destroying America and Israel in this war and they're winning, and ceasefire is a way for United States to try to get away. That's how they see this. They say the Americans are trying to run away and our stupid politicians are letting them. Our military personnel, our brave military personnel, has done so much to bring the Americans and Israelis to such a humiliating position, and our stupid negotiating politicians, what they're doing instead is allowing the Americans to run away with it. And right now in Iran, the pro-regime people, their understanding is the reason why Trump is asking for, I don't know, an extension or whatever, is that they figured out that they can't defeat the Islamic Republic. That is the pro-regime followers narrative. They figured out that they can't defeat the Islamic Republic, and they're trying to find ways to run away. And their pro-regime Iranians are trying to tell their politicians that, fuck you, you should stop negotiating with the Americans. They're trying to run away. You shouldn't let them. We have them where we want them. Keep attacking them. That's what the pro-regime people think.
And that's beautiful. That's wonderful. I'm thankful to them for that, actually. I want them to keep doing that. And while you're right, Tasnim News is not an official statement of such. We have a very, very rare statement from Vahidi today. So Behnam Ben Taleblu, senior fellow at FDD and other works, has said that Ahmad Vahidi has come out with this statement today, which says, the conquest of Khorramshahr is a lasting model for victory in future Khorramshahrs. The liberation of the noble Jerusalem and the destruction of the filthy Zionist regime by the axis of resistance and the Mujahideen of the Islamic world.
Yeah, so we don't hear Vahidi that often, so it's a big deal that we're hearing a statement from him, because we haven't been hearing from him for a while. So let me see. Ahmad Vahidi, the commander-in-chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, Guard Corps, announced in a written message. So Ahmad Vahidi. Let me actually share my screen on this, because we do want to see his face so that people would be able to connect faces to the people. So this is Ahmad Vahidi, right? So he had a written message. So again, remember, guys, Vahidi is the leader of IRGC, and he's been hiding really, really deep underground. Like he has been, like people don't. There's no videos or images of him for a long time. Like he's really deep in hiding, right? But so this is a written message from him saying the armed forces are operating at the highest level of readiness and deterrence across all missile, air, naval, ground, space, and cyber dimensions. And accordingly, it is self-evident that any further aggression by the enemy will be met with a devastating and hellish response on regional and trans-regional scales. So this is important that he says trans-regional. He's threatening this, guys. Who is he threatening this with? He's threatening Europe. Okay, mostly Europe. He's threatening everybody now, right? So he continues saying the liberation of Khorramshahr serves as an enduring model for victory in the Khorramshahr's in the Khorramshahr's head, the liberation of Jerusalem and the destruction of Israel at the hands of the Axis of Resistance and the Mujahideen of the world of Islam. So you can see, guys, that these people are continuing to advocate for their expansionist ways. They are making it very clear that by using Khorramshahr as a model, that ground invasion of the countries in the region is still what they're working on, right? And they have been emboldened, the pro-regime people and their delusion, thinking that they have just had a victory against the Americans and Israelis, and they thinking that all of this negotiation talk means that they're retreating, has emboldened the pro-regime people. So now they demand for the armed forces of the Islamic Republic to keep going. They want to keep attacking not just United States and Israel, but all the countries in the region until they're defeated. And they want to continue their expansion until they reach Jerusalem and they take Jerusalem. And using Khorramshahr as a model shows that ground invasion is what they have in mind.
They're just told the world again after this negotiation that they're going to conquer everyone and kill them, a lot of them, if they want to follow the Khorramshahr model. So, I don't know. Guys. Seems like a deal is close to me.
BT gave us a super chat saying Trump posts are baiting. Yes, like TikTok also says he's trolling, like President Trump is trolling. And then example, Strait will be open, deal is negotiated, power plant bridge post, the military destroyed. They then show their hand. Okay, so yes, President Trump is, I mean, if that's what he's doing, if that is what he's doing, it is working. It does confuse the regime and it does make them more divided. So I hope it's true. I hope it's all just as a psychological warfare against the regime. Okay, but based on if that's what the strategy is, the plus is that when I look at pro-regime accounts, I could see that it's working, right? The negative is that it's also confusing and scaring a lot of Iranian people who think that maybe a deal is going to happen. So that's the negative part of it.
Remember, even if they do agree, okay? In fact, what we've actually seen is that they agree in principle to have a deal. They're like, we should have a deal. And then they disagree on every single clause in the deal. Let me just go back to straight to square one. If that wasn't enough for you guys, let's show you the statement from Benjamin Netanyahu. He says, I spoke last night with President Donald Trump about the Memorandum of Understanding to reopen the Straits of Hormuz and the upcoming negotiations towards a final agreement on Iran's nuclear program. So the deal yesterday. I expressed my deep appreciation to President Trump for his unwavering commitment to Israel's security, including during Operation Roaring Lion and Epic Fury, when American and Israeli forces fought shoulder to shoulder against the Iranian threat. President Trump and I agreed that any final agreement with Iran must eliminate the nuclear danger. That means dismantling Iran's nuclear enrichment sites and removing its enriched nuclear material from its territory. President Trump also reaffirmed Israel's right to defend itself against threats on every front, including Lebanon. The partnership between us and our two countries has been proven on the battlefield and has never been stronger. My policy, like President Trump's, remains unchanged. Iran will not have nuclear weapons.
You know what the main part of this message is? The main part of this message is that Israel is not going to stop fucking Hezbollah. Right? That's what that means. So that means that there is no deal that you could sign that would make Israel back off of Hezbollah, because Israel is an independent nation state, and no agreement between United States and the Islamic Republic saying that Israel should stop attacking Hezbollah will be accepted by Israel. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I hear.
Yeah, and that's going to put so much pressure on them.
Yeah, and Texas saying, well, that guarantees IRGC will never agree to the deal. I hope that's true.
Yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu's smart. He knows that by saying that and the regime seeing it, they're going to think, oh, wait, our supporters are going to tear us apart if, Lebanon just keeps on getting hit the way it's been getting hit for a long time now. I like that statement. I mean, guys, imagine if he came out and said, yes, I very much look forward to making a deal with the IRGC. Like, this is the exact opposite of that. Nothing's changed, guys. Nothing's changed. They can talk about this as much as they want. They can agree on the principle of a deal. They can disagree on everything in the deal. Even if they do agree, how are they going to carry all this out? You really think the IRGC is going to let the US and Israel come in to Iran with soldiers and engineers and everything and take the uranium out from under their nose? I don't think so. So
yeah, there's so many things that I can't imagine. I can't imagine President Trump claiming victory while the enriched uranium is still in Iran, right? I can't imagine the Islamic Republic being able to claim victory if the enriched uranium leaves Iran, right? I can't imagine the Islamic Republic signing a deal with President Trump saying that we're going to open the Strait of Hormuz and them abiding by it. I can't even imagine them being able to continue to abide by it, given that so many pro-regime Iranians will not tolerate that, and so many parts of the IRGC would not tolerate that. That's why, like there is no deal to be made here. Like, there's maybe a fake deal that people pretend might but there is no deal. There is no deal here. Like, it would be. And I mean, we saw Rubio saying that President Trump has not backed off on any of his positions. So I don't know. I just can't imagine like a deal unless we're signing a deal to end the Islamic Republic. That's the only deal that I can imagine.
Exactly, guys. Yeah. So when we tell you yesterday that it's okay, it hasn't been agreed to. They just sent the proposal to the IRGC. Let's see what the IRGC's official statement is. Let's just see what happens, guys. No jumping to conclusions. Right. Do you want to see what Pezeshkian had to say?
Yeah, bring that up. But let me actually do the super chats. And by the way, Leo is doing cute animals editions today for counting the super chats. Thank you, Leo. And we're already halfway through. So our super chat goals for today. So we were at 3 with the dog. And then, okay, so 3. Then we had 4, fleshy interloper with a super chat saying, I'm scared of a deal. I can't imagine what it's like for Iranians. First of all, fleshy interloper, thank you so much for bringing attention to that. I'm getting messages from Iran and I can't even respond to all of them. And they're devastated and they're so upset and scared and anxious regarding what they're hearing. They're thinking that what if there's a deal? What if we're abandoned? So there are also Iranians who are suggesting that no, don't worry, this is not, it's going to be fine. They're not going to abandon us. We got this. But there's also a wave of concern. Like I can't even begin to tell you the level of anxiety that Iranian people are experiencing right now, thinking that maybe there's not going to be any attacks and they're going to reach a deal. Like I am actually scared to click on some of them because some of them are very hard to read, very hard to read. So that was number 4. And then thank you, Leo. And then we have Baby Rhino gets stripped with a super chat saying Trump hits on holidays. Memorial Day is perfect. I mean, that would be perfect. But honestly, given how much we're desperate for an attack right now, any day would be a good day. Any day would be a good day for, cutleting some Basijis. But yeah, that would be the most ideal. And yeah, Leo confirming that we got to half of our goal. So thank you guys. We're trying to get 10 super chats per live stream, and we're already halfway there. So thank you for that. All right. Pezeshkian.
All right, Pezeshkian. Let's see what he has to say.
گفتگو همان که در زمان امام شهیدمون این مسئله رو مطرح کرده بودیم، الانم آماده ایم که به دنیا این اطمینان رو بدیم که ما به دنبال سلاح هسته‌ای نیستیم.
Yeah. So I actually, we don't even need to translate that because President Trump posted that statement.
Yeah. This guy is so I have a question for you. So we all think for the longest time
Wait.
the Pezeshkian.
Well, before you say that, let's actually translate it, right? So people know what happened because that was in Persian, right? So here, and then you. So this was President Trump posted this. He posted a screenshot of Trey Yink's post about this, saying Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian saying we are ready to assure the world that we are not seeking nuclear weapons. We are not seeking instability in the region. So, Ali, you know that I know, and I hope everybody here in the chat knows that President Pezeshkian, president of the Islamic Republic, is irrelevant. He's a fucking puppet. He has no power, right? He has basically close to zero power within the regime. And this statement that we're not seeking in nuclear weapons, the Islamic Republic has always said that. They have always said that. This is nothing new. This was the position of Ali Khamenei. Obviously, we don't this was not the goal of these military operations, was not for them to come out and say we are not seeking nuclear weapons, because if this was the goal, we already had that. We already had that with Ali Khamenei. We don't believe them. We don't fucking believe them. So this statement is not important. This statement is irrelevant. But what do you think, Ali?
I think it's funny how, so again, Islamic Republic's been saying this forever, right? But Pezeshkian, okay, the person who Armin, this guy grinds Armin's gears the most out of everyone in the regime. No one annoys him more than Pezeshkian, okay, the president. Even looking at this guy or hearing him say anything annoys Armin, to no end. He can listen for an hour to the super Durka stuff from the mullahs, but he can't listen to 10 seconds of Pezeshkian talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Pezeshkian comes out and he says something that, okay, you're if it was any other time, if we weren't during this crisis or conflict, it's fine. But he said it right now, the day after this supposed deal has been reached. And that has got to be so annoying for some of these regime supporters, the hardline regime supporters. I like that he said that. I think it's a good thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that. Here's what I think might be happening. I think President Trump. Here's the optimistic perspective. I think President Trump might have posted this to full. Let me know, guys, by the way, what you guys think about this in the chat. I think here's the most optimistic take on why President Trump posted this. Maybe President Trump is trying to fooling the Islamic Republic to think that by me posting this, I'm looking for a way out and I'm not looking to attack you, as a way to catch them off guard. What do you guys think? Let me know if you think that is the. What do you think, Ellie, about that theory?
I think it's two. I think it's a double-edged sword. One is what you just said about telling people like, yeah, okay, all right, they don't want to have nuclear weapons. See, guys, let's make a deal. And the other one is to signal to a lot of the regime supporters that, oh, you guys said you don't want a nuclear weapon. If I'm just a regular, because the regime supporters guys are stupid, they're really, really dumb. You can't even have a conversation with them. Like you really can't. It's that bad. And they are going to immediately attack Pezeshkian. They already don't like him. They hate him. They're going to immediately attack him. They're going to be like, you idiot. What are you talking about? Shut up. Go away. Why
would they attack them? This is the position of Ali Khamenei as well. He had a fatwa, which is a taqiyya fatwa, saying that we're never going to have a nuclear weapon. That was Ali Khamenei's position as well.
Because none of them believe that. They knew that they had to say that publicly, but they don't actually believe that they're not going to go for nuclear weapon.
These people believe whatever Ali Khamenei says. They're not all in on the lie. They think Ali Khamenei doesn't lie, and then so here's how it works. Okay, so they don't think Ali Khamenei is lying. They think Ali Khamenei is being honest to them. Okay, but Ali Khamenei have that position. He had a fatwa against nuclear weapons, and then things change, and he said, "I'm changing my fatwa because things have changed." It's as easy as that. So that was, I think, and then the pro Ali Khamenei people, they don't think Ali Khamenei lied. They think like, oh yeah, he changed his fatwa because now we're in a new situation. That's the way it works. It's not like that he was lying. That's not their understanding.
That's a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, have you guys noticed how sharp Armin is this morning?
No. What?
Okay. Like, I mean, I'm saying that you're on it, like with everything you're saying. And I think it has something to do with the fact that, okay, so this morning while I was prepping and gathering a lot of the stuff, I tune into Armin's stream for about 2 seconds, like maybe 1.5. And as soon as I tuned in, it's just Armin like screaming at the camera, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah. And then I kept on scrolling. I was like, yeah, he's definitely energized.
Yeah, so let me tell you, like, this is what John Kerry didn't understand and Obama didn't understand. They're like, oh, well, they have a fatwa in Islam, fatwa, like that means a lot. In Islam, if you have a fatwa against nuclear weapon, that means there's no way these people were gonna get a nuclear weapon, right? It's interesting because even with that fatwa, we have now evidence that the Islamic Republic all of that time was planning and preparing to get to a nuclear weapon. All of that time, even with Ali Khamenei's fatwa against a nuclear weapon. What these people don't understand that. So, Ali, look. So this is the authority of the Quran is here, right? The authority of Hadith is here. The authority of a fatwa is way down here compared to the Quran and Hadith, right? So, given that the Quran has the highest authority in Islam, the Quran tells you that you shouldn't eat pork. So, here's my question to you, Ali. Is there a situation in Islam where a Muslim can eat pork?
Yes.
Yes. When?
When it's for the survival of Islam.
And the survival, yes, two situations. two situations: the survival of your life or survival of Islam, right? So, for example, if I put a gun to your head and say eat pork, then in Islam it's permissible to eat pork. If you know that eating pork right now in this situation will help Islam survive, then you eat pork, right? So, given that you can violate the commands of Quran, which has the highest authority for survival of Islam and survival of yourself, do you think you cannot violate a fucking fatwa? So if you get to a position where they could argue that we have a fatwa for this, but we need a nuclear weapon because that is the only thing that will protect us against threats, then it doesn't matter that you have a fatwa, because it wouldn't even matter if you had a Quranic verse against that action, let alone a fatwa.
And that example doesn't end there with just eating pork. If they had to murder everyone for the survival of Islam, they would do it. In any way, by the way, in any way, no matter how many people, in any way, they would do it. They genuinely believe it too. Like they believe that they're in the right.
Exactly. Okay. We do have some super chats. Let me go through them. Thank you, John, for the super chat saying, I emphasize, by the way, Pahlavi met with more lawmakers. Okay, so yes, Prince Reza Pahlavi is meeting with a lot of lawmakers recently, which is really interesting. And thank you for bringing that to our attention, John. And then we have Sarayu saying, been watching, thank you, Sarayu, for the super chat, saying, been watching Trump for over a decade, convinced this is smoke and mirrors, speculation on what he's doing in the background to necessitates the stall. Oh wait, speculation on what he's doing in the background necessitates the stall. But do you understand that question, Ali?
She wants us to think about what he's doing behind the scenes, essentially. Necessitates the stall. I'm not sure.
What is he doing in the background that would necessitate the stall?
I mean, like I don't know. It's not too bad for him the longer this goes on, just because the Islamic Republic does get weaker.
I had a post about this actually here. I'll bring it up. So let me see if I could find my post. I listed the things that the delay. Wait, hold on. Not here. Sorry. There was I made a list of how the delay hurts the Islamic Republic and how the delay helps the Islamic Republic. Okay. So when you're asking us what necessitates, oh my God, the stall, that's a tongue twister for me. Then you could pick something from my list over here. Okay. So here's the list that I have. These are the things that the delay is in the ways that it helps the Islamic Republic, and these are the ways that the delay hurts the Islamic Republic. Okay, so this is what I posted. He's saying, has the delayed U.S. and Israel attack on the Islamic Republic strengthened or weakened the regime? The answer is both. But if you look at the net result, the regime is fracturing. I break down exactly how the Islamic Republic is exploiting this temporary ceasefire and why the delay is actually causing them more long-term catastrophic damage. So maybe the delay is because of the list I have here. Okay, but let's look at the way. Here's how the regime is trying to recover. So these are all the reasons why the delay helps the regime, right? One, rebuilding their arsenal. They are smuggling enough oil via land and limited sea routes to fund cheap drones and missile production. That's one. Two, reopening missile cities. They are taking advantage of the pause to dig out the entrances to underground bunkers that were previously sealed by coalition forces. Then next, upgrading suppression. They are studying the last protests, developing new brutal tactics, and organizing foreign proxies to prepare for the next civilian uprising. Lastly, propaganda. They are spinning the delay as a sign of their own strength to embolden their shrinking radicalized base. So these are all the ways that the delay helps the Islamic Republic. Let's look at all the ways the delay hurts the Islamic Republic, and the answer to your question might be in here. Okay, so why the regime is actually bleeding out? One, massive coalition firepower. The US has moved significantly more naval assets into the region than they had prior to Operation Epic Fury. Two, the blockade's chokehold. The economic devastation is compounding daily. A few more months of this blockade will paralyze their financial infrastructure. Three, internal cannibalism. Without active military strikes to force alignment, regime officials are currently divided, backstabbing, and fighting for control in the resulting chaos. And then five, the boiling point. The Iranian people are furious. The daily pro-regime street rallies are not creating fear. They are fueling unprecedented rage. The next uprising will not just be a peaceful protest. So, and I also add this, the ultimate solution. There is only one strategy with a guaranteed negative net effect on the regime. Arm the Iranian people. It is the single highest return on investment for the US and Israel. Nothing else competes with it. So, reading that, it also reminds me that one reason for the delay might be the assessment that the blockade is really working, and why interrupt something that is working? Does that make sense? What do you think?
Yeah, some people also think that it could be because they're arming people or having some sort of like operation go on in the background. But you're spot on. Every day they're losing hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's hurting them. And the regime's acting like it's not. I mean, their entire strategy is to just show the world that we are untouchable. No matter what you guys do, how many bombs you drop from the air, whatever blockade you want to do, we're still going to live on. You guys can't get rid of us. And if they do succeed on doing that, and President Trump does sign this deal that is in the favor of the Islamic Republic, they have won in the eyes of the world.
So here's the thing. Let me know, guys, in the chat. The moment to say that things are not going our way, and there is actually a deal being made here, and the pressure is being removed from the Islamic Republic, is if the blockade is removed. Because in the latest post by President Trump, he said, I saw somebody in chat saying that what I read the deal Trump is lifting the blockade too. No, if you look at President Trump's post here, he's saying that the blockade will remain. Where is that? It's somewhere here.
It's towards the middle and on the right side,
Okay.
of the far right.
Oh yeah,
far
here.
right
The
middle.
blockade will remain. The blockade will remain in full force and effect until an agreement is reached. Here's the thing. I don't see an agreement being reached here. But do you guys agree? People who are saying have faith, everything is okay, don't panic. Is the time to panic the time that the blockade is removed? Is that the time? Let me know in the chat. Like,
Removed, and what happens with those ships? Like, are they gonna leave or are they staying there?
no, the regime is now back to selling its oil from ships, tankers with oils from Iran filled, leaving Iranian ports and being sold to China.
I would say that's extremely worrying. Yeah.
because there is a point where if I'm not saying that will happen, but there is a point where if we keep telling people like everything is okay, then people are like, "What the hell are you talking about?" They're making money again, and a huge number, and a huge amount.
Yeah, that could it could be a possibility if the regime agrees to let all the ships pass through the Strait of Hormuz, that the United States would let them pass through the Strait of Hormuz as well. I could see that.
I mean, I'm not saying that will happen. I hope that would never happen.
We're not saying it's going to. We're just saying
happen.
It might.
But we have to. But is there a time? Like I want Texas because I rely. Texas has good analysis, and she's also on the side of, calm down, guys. There's no deal here. I just want to say, where would be the line that if we cross, we would be like, Texas, what do you hypothetically, if we reach that area? By the way, Texas, thank you so much for thanking people giving us super chats. I will get to the super chats right after this. But Ali, you agree that would be like, okay, yeah, this is a win for the regime now.
Yeah, if they just lift it and let the regime sell their oil, it's so absurd because the regime has been starved financially for this long, and then you just undo all of your blockade work. Why would you do that? In fact,
no. So I mean, the question shouldn't be at what point do we panic, because we should never panic. We should focus on fighting. But at what point can we say that there's a deal has been made and the Islamic Republic is benefiting from it? Would it be the point where if we see that the blockade is removed and the Islamic Republic is now tankers are leaving the ports in Iran and being sold to China without any blockade, would that be the point? Texas, true? Okay. If Texas is saying true, then we're like, that's the point. That's the time that we're like, okay, yep, this is not right.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
And here's what we're looking at if that does happen. So 2.5 to 3, so 2 to 3 million barrels per day is what the regime can export. And you can see the prices. So at $60 per barrel, which, I mean, the price of barrel is way over that right now. The regime would make 9 to 11 billion. $70 per barrel, 10 to 12 billion. $80, 12 to 14 billion. That would undo a large portion of the damage the blockade did.
So Texas is saying blockade and sanctions, not just a blockade alone. If they remove the blockade alone, that will still give them, because even if the sanctions are there, the sanctions is not going to stop the Islamic Republic from selling its oil to China. They will still make billions of dollars if the blockade is removed, even without the sanctions. As Ali is showing to us here on the graph.
Yeah, this is from Said Ghassan, who's an oil expert.
Oh. I'm not saying they're going to do that, by the way, guys. I'm just saying, like, where is the line?
We're prepping we're prepping you guys mentally for the possibilities. This is an unlikely possibility.
I mean, I don't even know how to measure the possibilities. I just know I just can't imagine how a deal could be made given the red lines of President Trump and red lines of the IRGC. I cannot see how a deal could be made unless somebody completely gives up on their red lines. And I just don't see how either side can do that. Okay, let me read the super chats. Let me see if Texas said anything. Yeah, this is the line. So unlikely. Okay. Just wanted to see what Texas had to say. And BT also. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Let me just quickly read. Thank you, guys. We have so many super chats. And Lior is confirming that the count is 15 with a cute piggy and some bacons. Thank you, Lior, for the counting. So we're way above our goal for today. You guys are awesome. Sherry was saying, how many more hours before Ali can get subscribers? And fuck Kerry. Yes, fuck Kerry. for fuck Kerry for funding the Islamic Republic to be able to pay for October 7th. But how many more watch hours do you have left to
Yeah,
eat
so
my
as of
nuts?
today, YouTube Studio tells me that I hit 4,000, which is what I need. But YouTube actually takes a week to verify that those watch hours are legit and they weren't just like bots or something like that. So I'll apply for the creator program like next week. And then I heard that also takes a couple of weeks. So
Oh, so you have the watch hours and subscribers necessary already.
yeah, but YouTube has to verify that I do.
Okay. That's great.
That takes a week.
That's amazing. Well, congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Also,
And then-
we've had some trolls today. I'll tell you about it.
Trolls or
after this.
people with disagreements?
No, like trolls. Here, I'll bring up a comment later about it.
Okay. Because trolls are good. They increase the engagement on your channel. Yeah, I love them. It's free marketing. And then we have Robert. Okay, the only thing that I can't stand in the live chat are people who are spamming the chat to a point where it becomes unusable for the other people here. That's what I can't stand. If they're spamming like the same message over and over again. But other than that, I don't know. Yeah, Robert is saying, please keep the faith. Americans are with you. We know you guys are with us. And we appreciate that. We will never forget that. Thank you. We appreciate that. And then John was saying Pezeshkian would accept a fatwa to change his name to oh my god, I'm not gonna read that. I can swear a word in Persian to improve Islamic Republic relationship with Greece. That guy is easy to hate. Yeah, I know he is. My god, I really want to slap Pezeshkian. Get some moves. And then Sherry saying, I think he is coordinating. So Sherry was talking about President Trump. Thank you, Sherry, for another super chat. Saying, I think he's coordinating the Middle East to take care of themselves once the U.S. and Israel free Iran. Yeah, that has been the whole point of Abrahamic Accord. But the best way, so Sherry, the best way to do that, the best way to make sure that the Middle East does not need taken care of anymore is to get rid of the number one source of chaos in the Middle East, which is the Islamic Republic. If the Islamic Republic falls, that will be the end of the United States military presence at the levels that it has right now in the Middle East. It will free up so much of United States military resources to be focused on China, right?
Absolutely.
And then we have, another. By the way, Ali, sorry, I don't ask you if you want to respond every time. Want to respond. Okay. Also, just interrupt me.
I'll just butt in.
Yeah, butt in. Yeah. Roman Cabbage saying daily reminder: the mouse is still dead in freezer. Yes, actually, I sent something to Goldie about this. Here, I'll show you guys. Here, find this. Download. Okay. So let me bring it up.
You guys are asking really good questions, by the way, in the chat. We're gonna get to them.
Oh. Okay. I'll be fast. Sorry. I'll be fast.
No, that's not what I meant.
Okay, so let's remove this. Okay. All right. So this is what happened to these 4 people. Okay. So Larijani, everything about him was completely blown up except his hand, right? So that's Larijani. Ali Khamenei, his destiny, he's in a fridge. Okay, his body's in a fridge. And then Raisi here, he was killed by his helicopter. I don't know, accident or somebody killing him, probably. I don't know if it was Israelis or the Islamic Republic. But then in the forest, apparently his body was eaten by a bear. So that's why we have the bear for him. And Salami was blown so completely that he just turned into dust. So this is Salami. So this is 4 people, 4 endings. All right. It was fog, damn it. Yes, exactly, BT. Okay. And then we have Sadato with a super chat saying, stay strong, Bepish. Couldn't agree more.
You know,
Thank
Sadato
you.
himself has been staying very strong.
Yes. And he's been such a source of strength and inspiration and motivation for the rest of us. Thank you, Sadato. You're always there for us. Thank you. And then Sherry saying the key to collapsing the US is to do it from within. Maybe Trump is using their own tactics against them. Your thoughts?
He's been using that tactic.
Yeah, he's been using a tactic. But Sherry is correct to say the Islamic Republic has been trying to do that as well by providing material to leftist progressives. And they both have been feeding each other. Like leftist progressives have been feeding the Islamic Republic content to play on state media for the pro-regime people to show that look, Trump is losing. Even the Americans admit it. And the Islamic Republic has been very clever in providing content, especially with the Minab thing, for example, right? To leftist progressives in the United States to try to cause division within U.S. politics. That's very true. That's very
And
good
they
observation.
eat it up.
Chip.
And they go,
Yeah.
and they eat that up as fast as they can. No mention about the thousands, tens of thousands of Iranian citizens being killed by the regime. No mention.
Yeah, but by the way, that does not collapse the U.S. Okay, the U.S. is not going to collapse. So maybe like try to weaken President Trump by internal divisions within U.S. politics, but United States will never collapse. It's United States is too powerful for it to collapse. And also, by the way, Amir is also pointing out they're also feeding Haaretz in Israel as well, which is very true. Haaretz is also taking advantage of the content by the Islamic Republic. BT with the super chat saying Trump wars are 1/4 of the story. CIA, Mossad on ground has info we don't. Leaders of Middle East saying things behind the scenes we don't know. Crucial info. Very good points, BT. Like, yeah, everything we're seeing is just surface level. There's so much more going behind the scenes. And BT would know. And so I just saw Halda saying, I still cannot do super chats. I saw a couple of people saying they cannot do super chats. Let us know if this is a glitch, because that would be really bad for our channel's growth and funding. So hopefully that's not.
They can't super chat to me, which it'll take a little bit of time. It'll take a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, guys, don't worry,
YouTube
guys.
to
We're gonna
approve
get her. Ali's channel will be monetized. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have
all
some
the super chats you
stars.
guys send does go to Armin though, so you can keep. Yeah, I think you just have to go on Armin's channel to do it. But on my channel, if you're watching on mine, you can't yet.
Yes. Soon we'll have that. You start some comments. You want to respond to them? I'll be right back. To you.
All right. So someone asked a good question. Said Ali Armin, sorry if it was mentioned before. Don't be. What you think on Trump AI picture bombing the Hormuz in the middle of peace talks? Because now he ain't just trolling the IRGC. Now he's messing with me and the Iranian people. All right. So here's what this person is referring to. President Donald Trump posted this. Take down this comment. Okay, so on the left right there. Okay, he posted that today. Drones blowing up IRGC ships, which may or may not exist anymore. Last I heard they were in the bottom of the sea, but I guess some of these speedboats are still there. And yeah, I'm not sure. If I was really having some peace talks with someone, Yeah, I'm not sure if I would post that. I don't know about you guys, but what I think about it is pretty obvious. I think he's just baiting them. It's like he's been doing this for so long. Oh, you guys want to drag out the talks? Let me keep reminding you. Let me put this, make a lot of people on your side mad. Yeah. I mean, it's fun to look at.
All right.
Oh, we just showed this.
Yeah, I saw. I was
Yeah.
hearing. Yeah, I also saw that. Yeah. Okay. And then you had another comment start. You wanted to respond to that?
Yeah.
Before we go to the super chats.
So you guys are, Mike says, so you guys are speculating on what's in the deal. This is a boring show, guys. Don't you have contacts in Iran? We do. But they don't know too much more than we do. Just because you live there doesn't mean that you magically have information just coming out of thin air and absorbing into your brain. A lot of them actually don't know as much as we do. They don't have access to information. The ones who do have internet... Yeah, we got our
contacts in
direct
Iran.
Contacts in Iran, yes.
Our contacts in Iran give us information about the economic situation that they're experiencing. Our contacts in Iran tell us about the level of security forces on the ground in Iran. Our contacts in Iran give us information regarding the level of anger that they're feeling, and also how high the motivation is for the next uprising. What the fuck are you talking about? How could our contacts? I have a lot of contacts in Iran. Even even IRGC people don't know what's in the deal. Even the highest officials within the regime don't know what's in the deal. The information that the regime is getting from the Americans and what they're sending to them is only exclusively being shared among the people with the highest security clearance within the regime. And I don't think that the number of those people reaches above 10. What are you on about?
So that was troll. That was a troll. Another troll who I banned earlier. Actually, I ended up banning Casey Pierce by accident because the chat was like moving. So I unbanned him. Sorry, but Casey.
Oh, is he back? Is he back?
Yeah, he's back. So there was a guy named Jerry, okay? And he was saying, Ali and Armin are in danger. And I read that comment. I was like, all right, whatever, dude. Then he posted one a couple minutes later, and he's like, Ali, Armin, the Sepah are coming for you. And I was like, all right, buddy, ban. It's like, you're gonna come in here and threaten us with things like that? And there's another troll, okay? All Iranians terrorists? No. Just a couple million.
Okay. All right. Let's go to that's funny. Let's go to super chats. And Sherry saying trolls are good. LOL. Armin stole my thunder. Oh, I'm sorry, Sherry, but we think alike. We think alike. And thank you, Sherry. Thank you for the super chat. Shannon saying, Shannon, thank you for the generous super chat. Thank you so much. Saying, don't overthink when your opponents want to sit in your chokehold and negotiate. You keep choking. The blockade stays. The blockade stays on until Iran, not the regime submits. I hope you're correct, Shannon. I hope you're correct. I hope that's what I'm looking at. To me, as long as the blockade is there, the regime is bleeding, and the regime will not be able to continue surviving the blockade. As long as the blockade stays, I don't care about anything if they're acting like there's going to be a deal, not acting like there's going to be a deal. Just you could all do all of this mind games and dancing and everything else, all of it. Just keep the blockade. Just keep the fucking blockade. Right?
Yes, absolutely. And preferably, I mean, you could drop a couple of, things on them too at the same time.
Yeah, that would be preferable. Okay, that would okay. I mean, there's a lot of things that I would prefer. I would prefer kinetic military actions on the regime. I would prefer that. I would prefer, especially arming the Iranian people. I would very much prefer that. Okay, but what I don't want to see above all is not the blockade being removed. So the minimum, even if you're not going to go back to military operations, even if you're not going to do arming of the Iranian people, at least don't remove the blockade, because at least with the blockade, we're going to move closer to the fall of the regime. The reason why we prefer the blockade plus military operations plus arming the Iranian people is because the Iranian people are suffering a lot right now, like a lot. And if we're only relying on the blockade, it will take too long for the regime to fall. And the Iranian people have to tolerate that. And it is so hard to tolerate right now. That's why we prefer blockade plus military operations plus arming the Iranian people.
It's the greatest non-kinetic piece of leverage that the United States has. They're not going to take it away. It's highly unlikely.
So Nara is saying, is the blockade eventually going to make the regime surrender? No, I highly doubt that they will burn Iran to the ground before that happens. No, the blockade will not make them surrender. The reason why blockade will get them closer to a fall is because it will lead to an uprising, plus it leads to less funds available for funding the suppression of the Iranian people. The uprising will end them, not the blockade by itself. You highlighted this question. You wanted to respond to it?
I was actually curious. So this person, J28, is asking, where would Vahidi rank in the line of succession if the February 20th bombing had never happened? Is he top 30, 40? Maybe not even top 30 or 40. Maybe like...
No, he was up there.
Really? So Khamenei's closest aides, who were all boomed, were like... You don't think that they would have been up higher?
Okay, so when you say line of succession, nobody within the IRGC would be within the succession of the Supreme Leadership Office. These are separate blocks of power, right? So within the block of power of IRGC, he was third, right? But you cannot, but within the block of power of the Office of the Supreme Leadership, which is the Beit Rahbari, he is infinity because he's not even in that block of, right? So everybody's line of succession should be measured within their own power block that they're in, right? So if we have 4 power blocks right now, one of them would be the Beit Rahbari, which is the Office of the Supreme Leadership, the other one being IRGC, the other one being the negotiation facing track, and the last one being the ideological pressure camp. Vahidi is within the IRGC power block, and within that block, he was number 3. The two. So here, let me bring the chart. No, I have to go like this and then this, like this. Okay. So if you look at the chart, number 1 was Hassan Salami, which we just saw turned into, he was right here. He turned into dust. Okay. This was Salami. So he's dead. Number 2 in succession was Pakpur. Then he died. So 12-day war, died 12-day war, died in Operation Epic Fury, and then Vahidi is now the head of the IRGC. So he would be third in line of succession. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So let's factor in. Okay, so if the strikes never happened, Laurie, Johnny, and all of them would be alive as well. So what would you say then? Like, let's just combine them all together.
Well, then it wouldn't be a line. You're talking about the level of power. Yeah. Okay, not a line of succession, the level of power.
Yeah, because right? I think that's what this person wants to know. If you just everyone was there.
Okay, if everyone was there, all the people who were okay. So obviously Ali Khamenei, Mujtaba would be above him, right? Sham Khani would be above him. Larijani would be above him. No, not this one, not that one. Not Ghalibov. Bagheri would be above him.
Would Mousavi be above him?
Yes,
say,
Mousavi
yeah.
would be above him. Yes.
So
And
maybe he would
then-
be like top 20. Like
top
top
20.
20.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah.
Let me see who else died. Well, maybe even top 10.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see that.
something between top 10 or top 20. Okay, like I mean, okay, are we counting Qasem Soleimani? Are we talking people who died before? Okay, so Qasem, so 6, 7, 8. Yeah, top 20. He will be top 20 for sure. But maybe arguably top 10, but top 20 for sure.
Yeah, closer
in
to the
power.
top 10. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go next. Okay, here, next super chat. Agent Anderson is saying USA people with a bit of worldly knowledge are with you. Oh, thank you. We appreciate every single one of them. And we appreciate you, Agent Anderson. Love your username, by the way. Saying, unfortunately, we are in the minority thanks to decades of Democrat teachers, Democrat teachers union controlled public education. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the education there is too much under the influence of not just the Democrats, but also for some fucking reason, Qatar. so yeah, I don't blame you. I understand that. And then okay, so when we got to 18, do we had Twitter? Is that you? Okay. Thank you. Leo is counting. That was 18. And then we have John with a super chat saying, bear sent by Savak, dog sent by Musad to eat. Yes. Good one. Thank you, John. And that was number 19 with an elephant. And then we got to Justin with a super chat saying, guys, stay calm, stay focused. They tried to kill Trump's daughter. They tried to kill daddy's girl. Do you really believe Trump is then going to make a deal with these thugs? It's all tactical. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's gonna make a deal. Yeah. Yeah. He only brought the most amount of military buildup since the Iraq War, and found out that they were gonna try to kill his daughter. Multiple shootings at the White House. Yeah. Yeah. He's only defeated them completely militarily, and it's never happened before in history where you would defeat a country and then surrender to it.
Well, I mean, was it Texas that was pointing out that, okay, it was Texas. President Trump cannot do military operations because her family member is targeted, right? That is a point that Texas was making. Like, yeah, I mean, but legally you can't do that. But at the same time, you don't have to make your intentions clear.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, they targeted my daughter, and because of that, I will go. It's not like 2,000 years ago.
I mean, for example, President Bush Jr. was somewhat motivated to topple Saddam because of Saddam trying to kill his father. So yeah, exactly. Texas saying no POTUS can do that. Yeah, but again, we know George Bush Jr. was somewhat motivated, even though he never made it official, obviously, but he was somewhat motivated by that. Was like, I mean, I don't know, maybe the reports are false. I mean, who could stop us? Who could stop President Trump from being motivated by that without even mentioning it? So I do think it would impact me, honestly. If I was the president and they tried to kill my daughter like this, I would be like, well, fuck you. I will make sure that before my term is over, that there's nothing of you left on this earth. That's what I would be motivated by if anybody came from for my daughter, right?
Breaking news.
Ooh.
We have a Truth Social statement from President Donald Trump.
Oh.
All right, I just skimmed over it for like 2 seconds, so let's read this together. All right.
Wow.
Is this okay? Yeah, okay. If I make a deal with Iran, it will be a good and proper one, not like the one made by Obama, which gave Iran massive amounts of cash and a clear and open path to a nuclear weapon. Our deal is the exact opposite, but nobody has seen it or knows what it is. It isn't even fully negotiated yet, so don't listen to the losers who are critical about something they don't know about. Unlike those before me who should have solved this problem many years ago, I don't make bad deals. No panicking, guys. Yesterday, I know it looked bad, but look how just 24 hours later, what's happening. Okay? This is why we have to wait.
Ali, thank you so much for keeping an eye on this. This is really good because, guys, any deal that could be described as good would end the Islamic Republic. And President Trump here, again, is confirming that he was not going to do a bad deal. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is in our favor. This is in our favor.
Nobody has seen it or knows what it is. So he's tired of all these people coming out and saying like, oh, yes, Iran's agreed to this. The United States has agreed to that. Also, it could be a surprise. I mean, if he's saying, but nobody has seen it or knows what it is, maybe he's insinuating some sort of surprise there. Not like the one made by Obama. So no giving the regime money, which means no lifting blockade, no lifting oil sanctions, not letting them sell their oil, not giving them frozen assets back, and no sunset clause, no nuclear. Like, it's fine. The regime is never going to accept that.
Okay, Lindsey Graham posted. Somebody, Sarayu is saying Graham posted. Do you want to bring that up?
Yeah, let's see it.
Right, we got so many guys. We're breaking news here while you're watching live with us.
Oh yeah, I saw that. This was like, I think they mean a 30-minute ago one, right? Unless Twitter doesn't update, but yeah, they were just saying they like the Abraham Accords. They like that. Senator Lindsey Graham signaled strong support for President Donald Trump's emerging Iran strategy Sunday, arguing that any long-term agreement with Tehran should be tied to a dramatic expansion of the Abraham Accords that would include Saudi Arabia and other major Muslim nations normalizing relations with Israel. What this means is that he's in favor of the Middle East supporting itself and forming an alliance to keep the area stable in the future. And that, obviously, Tehran, Iran is a big part of that. Someone said I need to go study, but don't want to leave. I've been there, and good luck. I'm glad I don't have your problem.
This is studying. We are studying. We're in a study session right now together. Okay, look at this. Please tell Halda that I am heartbroken for her. Wait, what happened? What happened to Halda? Did I miss something?
Guys, we missed something? What happened?
Oh no, are you okay, Halda? Oh wait. Oh, I don't know what happened to Halda, but I hope she's okay. But Sherry is saying, please tell Halda I'm heartbroken for her. We love her. Sorry if you're going through something, Halda.
Yeah.
Sorry, and sorry that we missed it. She's great.
People
by the
don't
way.
know
Yeah,
either.
she's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So F is saying even if a deal is made, military action stops. There are dozens of. What? Okay. Even if a deal is made and military action stops, there are dozens of there are dozens of ways we can collapse the regime with people inside the country. I don't with the people. Here's the problem though. The people inside the country are unarmed and they're facing an armed regime. So we either need military action or we need to arm the people of Iran, and preferably both. I don't see how we could expect the Iranian people to do an uprising after what we experienced in early January without some military operations backing them, or at least giving them their tools for them to be able to defend themselves.
Yeah, you're also talking about a controlled explosion versus a uncontrolled explosion, which, what does that even mean? But I think you get my point.
Casey saying, not the troll Ali band, ridiculous statements.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Casey. Yeah. The chat was moving, so.
Yes. Oh, no. There's a way to make sure the chat is not moving is by scrolling up a little bit, and then it stays where it is. And then you can make sure that it's not moving if you do that. Okay. And then we have another super chat saying, Agent Anderson saying, my moniker is from trolling Nigerian scammers.
Their moniker is like their nickname or their username.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, you copied that. Okay, that's cool. I love it. It's perfect. And thank you for the super chat. Fabrizio is saying, Trump live now. Check, guys. I see on Times Now. Is that? Is he live?
I know if they're making like the YouTube channel, there's a lot of YouTube channels that like say President Donald Trump's live just to get some views and stuff. The White House isn't live.
Yeah, if President Trump was going to be live from that White House, you would see it. Yeah, they give you fake titles for.
Yeah.
Oh, they see Trump's speech live, and I know what they do. They just start playing an old speech. It's an old speech. I mean, you can see there's only 175 people watching it. If this was a new speech, it would have more views, right? So don't fall for it. It's clickbait. It's an old speech that they're playing live. But it's an old speech. And, oh, wow, we got to 26. Thank you, guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And thank you, Leo, again, for counting.
Yeah, thank you, Leo.
And Sherry saying, Helda has a significant other in Iran. Oh, she has not heard from him, and she is heartbroken and losing faith in Trump. Oh, sorry, Helda, to hear that.
Yeah. Sorry.
So sorry to hear that. And Helda, and we hope like you hear from her soon, and him soon. And also, Sherry, don't feel responsible for. I know you support President Trump, and I know it hurts you when other people feel disappointed. Like, you're not responsible, okay? You are responsible for your actions, and I know you already know that. And you have been nothing but loving and supporting, and we really appreciate you. And you don't need to be sorry or apologize for other people or people being disappointed by somebody else that is not you, okay? You are an amazing person, and we appreciate you. So I hope don't take it personally when people are getting upset or disappointed by Trump, okay? We have so many people in our chat that are pro-Trump. We have so many people in the chat that are anti-Trump. We have people who are skeptical of Trump. We have people who love Trump, but they don't completely agree with Trump. We have and for some reason, we have managed to figure out a way for all of us to be here together without without like turning against each other. Okay, so this is going to be normal here, so it's fine here. There are people here in our community where they don't like Trump, but they are not anti people who like Trump. So it's very, so far it's been very nice and civilized, right? They just understand that these are disagreements that we have, and you know.
Yeah, Sherry, very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. You have something you're sharing?
Yeah, I wanted to show you guys another piece of evidence. Okay, so this is the Ministry of Defense for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and they just said, with the integrated readiness system of the Ministry of Defense, air defense forces are tasked with protecting the airspace over the sacred sites and addressing all aerial threats, thereby ensuring the security of the guests of the merciful and their peace of mind. So they're talking about how Hajj is about to happen, and they're on heightened alert, and they released this video of the air defense systems that they have across their country. So why would you be needing all of this air defense?
Some people were suggesting that maybe they delayed the war for Hajj.
I mean, looks like they're ready. They're saying we're ready.
What do you guys think about this? Do you think the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf came to President Trump and because he was gonna attack on Friday, and they were like, hold up, can we do Hajj first and then attack? Do you guys think that is a possibility? What are the dates for Hajj this year for 2026?
Is it this week?
May 20. It starts May 24th till May 30th. No, people saying yes, no, possible, totally possible.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure if these events like the World Cup or Hajj or things like
World
that.
World Cup, no. That's, I think, I can't think of a reason for that being effective, right? Like the World Cup is in, the Western Hemisphere, right? But the Hajj is a crucial source of revenue for Saudi Arabia, and if there's war in the Middle East, people are not going to show up. So I could, there is a. What do you think about that argument? Like this, yeah.
We could have speculated that, a lot more. Been like, okay, yeah, I mean, Saudi is probably afraid of that, but if they're posting that when Hajj starts, so.
Oh, wait, we shouldn't assume people know what the Hajj is. Can you answer?
So if you're a Muslim, you are supposed to go to Mecca, which is in Saudi Arabia, once in your life, and pay your respects to the house of God, which is located there. I do that at least once, and then after that, you're like, I think after that, you're like now like a full-fledged Muslim. You're like something like that. I'm summarizing it, guys. Armin's gonna be like, "How dare you say it like that?"
No, it's fine. It's good enough. It's close enough. Wait, people are saying, here, what is the Hajj? This is the Hajj. One image.
Yeah, you guys have all seen pictures of it. You'll see it immediately.
Yeah. This is Hajj. Going here and doing your durka around the Kaaba, that's Hajj. Okay. Going to Mecca, then going to the Kaaba, into the black box, going durka, that's Hajj. That's the official definition of Hajj, is durka around the black box. That's, if you actually go look at the definition, that's what it says.
Yeah.
Right?
Then you're a Haji.
Yes. So this is a major source of revenue. This whole thing is like Saudi Arabia makes a shit ton of money.
You know,
from
they
this.
always take the pictures from that angle. They don't actually show the other angle. I was wondering if we could find that angle. I want people to see it.
That, you know why? That's a very good point.
Yeah,
by the
because of
way.
all the hotels.
Well, no, because they fucked it up. Okay, because they made it look un-Islamic. And because the house of God looks so small and insignificant. Do you guys want to know
Yeah.
this? Let us.
It's like from that angle, it's just like, you know, the city of Mecca, like, you know, out in the distance, the hills and whatever. And then boom, you turn it around, skyscrapers, Western infrastructure everywhere. And you're just like, what?
So. Hold on.
And they try to hide that. They're like, don't post pictures like that.
Hold on. Let me show you what the Hajj actually looks like, because they glorify it in these pictures. So you see, every year the Hajj brings so much money to Saudi Arabia. Okay? So let me mute this so we could talk over it. Ali, can you give me the video that you just showed us? Because I want to show that on Iran Revolution Live as well, because that image shows that Saudi Arabia is trying to advertise that, guys, come, it's safe, right? That's your
exactly.
Yes. So the fact that they're trying to show that it's safe, to me, suggests that maybe Saudi Arabia was terrified that this year people are not going to come to the Hajj because there's war, right? And maybe they got President Trump to delay it so that this whole nonsense is over, and then they could do it after, right?
Yep. Oh man, just the overheating that must happen.
Wait, I'm gonna read a super chat ahead of schedule because BT is bringing up a very good point. BT is saying, thank you for the super chat. BT is saying, is this where they sexually assault people? Exactly. This is a dark secret of the Hajj. This is the only place in Islam. Where men and women are allowed to mix. Only place in Islam. Okay? Where men and women are in crowds and they're mixed to each other. Because the assumption is that nobody will be thinking of sex where in the holiest place on earth. And oh boy, there's so much sexual assault. Most women going to the Hajj have experienced being fingered. And it's a dark secret that if you talk about it, it's really taboo to talk about it. But women go there with the highest expectations of feeling the most spiritual moments of their lives, and they get fingered. There's so many women say that that's what their experience. Okay, I have videos of in the Hajj that if I show on YouTube, right next to the Kaaba. I'm not going to show you. I have pictures of videos right next to that Kaaba, that black box over there, that if I show on YouTube, the man is like absolutely like humping a woman right next to that wall. Like he's right in front of everybody. And the woman is looking back at him with shock, like, what is happening to me? It's so disgusting.
Oh, there it is. The skyscrapers at the end.
Oh, you saw it? Here.
Yeah, at the very, very end.
Oh, let me actually get the skyscrapers because that's what people need to see. So, guys, the Saudis had this retarded idea of making the Kaaba look like London. I kid you not, London, but bigger. Because the Saudis were obsessed with westernizing Saudi Arabia at some point. I mean, today as well. But this goes back time, right? So back then, in the minds of a Muslim, the center of Western world, because their mind was still, their memory of Western empire was still the UK, not the United States. So from their perspective, London represented the capital of Western power. And what was in London? The Big Ben. So they were like, how about we show our dominance to the world by making something like the Big Ben, but so much bigger, right? Let me show you what that looks like. So much bigger, guys, like unfucking believably bigger, guys. What they did is that, and this, they don't show you this angle. The reason why they don't show you this angle, because the house of God looks like fucking nothing. It looks so insignificant. Everybody that goes to the house, to Kaaba, the first thing they see is not the greatness of God. They see the greatness of this monstrosity. Look at this. Guys, you have no idea how big this is. Like, people go there, and they used to go to the Kaaba, and the house of God would take their breath away. But imagine how much they fuck themselves where when now people go to the Kaaba, the thing that takes their breath away is not this, it's this. The greatness of this Western style looking giant monstrosity. That's what they see, and that's what it overshadows everything that the house of God was supposed to represent. Here, let me show you another angle. You don't see, guys, you don't see this usually, right? Like, when you see pictures of the Kaaba, you usually don't see it from this angle, do you? Look at this. The reason why you don't see it, because they know how embarrassing this is.
The house of God, so small.
Yeah, imagine if you're here going around the Kaaba and you're seeing this all the goddamn time in your view. Do you guys see? Never. People usually, because they know how bad it looks. And it's so non-Islamic. This is completely Western style. So this is what you have to be reminded of every time you're in the Kaaba, this Western style gigantic building that was supposed to be modeled after the Big Ben.
Can you zoom out a little bit? Yeah. Someone asked where you go to the bathroom. I mean, they have bathrooms there, guys, but you know, if you can't make it to the bathroom, you don't want to lose your spot or whatever. I don't know.
Hold on, let me show you something if I could find it. Okay, let me okay. You guys want to see a size comparison? This is like trying to do mine is bigger than yours fucking stuff. Okay, here. Okay, I hope I could find this. Mine is bigger. Why can't I click on this? Copy image address. Okay, let me show you. Oh, you can't zoom in, can you? Okay, I'm just gonna save image and bring it to this tab. Give me a second, guys. This is gonna be worth it.
After this, I want to show you something that someone said that is
look
very
at this.
annoying.
Okay, guys, look at this. This is the size of the Big Ben compared to the clock tower in Saudi Arabia, in Kaaba.
I didn't know that was the comparison.
Yeah, that's the size
that's
difference.
like 600 versus 100, like not even 100. Oh, it's 6 times taller.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh my god! Even the hotels are more like so much bigger than the Big Ben.
How tall is the house of God? How tall is the...
Small. Oh. Okay, show what you were gonna show, and then we need to do the super chats really quickly.
Yeah.
Because we need to go to our group discussion. But yeah, what were we gonna show?
Yeah. So, guys, someone said something about the Iranian people that is absolutely unacceptable. And this guy, okay, Hussein Abdul Hussein, said, all said and done, Syrians proved to be much braver than Iranians. Once they stood up to Assad, the Syrians never sat down, even after Assad killed close to 500,000 of them and razed down their cities wholesale over the span of 14 years. 14 years. The Iranians lost 20,000 protesters in the street in a week. They never defied the regime again. Islamic Iran's extreme brutality did its job.
You fucking moron. The Syrian people were armed. The Iranian people are unarmed. Why would they just go stand in front of flying bullets if they're not fucking armed? You fucking retard. Are you fucking kidding me? Who is this garbage of a human being? This, you will always be remembered for this take.
Syrians were armed
What a
and
fucking
trained.
asshole. Are you
Armed and
fucking
trained.
kidding me? How could you even compare that?
And they took 14.
The Iranian people, also the Iranian people came out and protested after they were already massacred a couple of times, and they still came out. Also, you have no fucking idea if this is the last of it, because I guarantee you this is not the last uprising. How the fuck do you assume that this was the last of it? You fucking idiot. And they're not armed.
It's an embarrassment to Syrians. Huge embarrassment to Syrians. We didn't lose 20,000. We lost closer to 100 in not a week, but 10 hours. That is not comparable to 14 years of civil war. People still don't understand that. And this is a prime example of how people won't understand that in the future either. Just want to remind you guys, people in the future will still say that, oh, the number wasn't 42,000, the number wasn't 50, 100, 150,000, whatever it may be in the future when we find out what it actually is. They said that never happened.
Unfucking wow. What a shit take.
And we did defy the regime again. 40 days after we came out, saying the same things that we did during the protests, during the uprising.
Okay, let's go do the super chats because we need to go. Oh, by the way, guys, let me share this. We, in about 15 minutes, we're going to go to our discussion group, and today is open to everybody. That means it's free for everybody to join. So come and join our discussion group. Let me put the link in the chat to all of you guys. And also you could get to our discussion group by scanning the QR code at the top left. The link is in the chat. The link is in our bio. It's in the description. So today, again, remember, today is open to everybody. Once you come to the main page of our group discussion, you could either get to it by clicking on this link right at the homepage, or you could go to our calendar and you could see the group call for today. And you can see the ones who are with the fire emojis are the ones that are open to everybody. You don't need to be premium or VIP. So just come and talk to the rest of us. Okay. All right. Let's go back to super chats. So Ali, you want to respond to this one?
Yeah. Danny says, do you think they opt to a deal because they failed in making a coalition with the Arab countries in Europe? A lot of internal pressure on Trump. They failed to make a coalition with the Arab countries and Europe?
I don't think Europe is relevant here. I don't think they were waiting for a coalition for Europe. The way the Arab countries might be relevant is that maybe they need more time for the Arab countries to be able to defend themselves. The Hajj might have been somewhat of an influence, but we don't know. But it is possible because the Arab countries will not be as important in contribution other than providing more legitimacy to the United States. They're not that really good in kinetic military operations. They would be able to help a little bit, but not significantly. I think if I had to guess, it's that the Arab countries, if the Arab countries were related, it's because they needed more time to be able to defend themselves in regards to what's about to come. If that was a factor. Fleshy interloper. Yeah, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Fleshy interloper says Trump is telling us not to worry. Like these statements aren't for us. The statement yesterday about him making the deal, it's not meant for me and you.
By the way, guys, we got to 37 super chats. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Leo, for counting. Casey is saying, I forgive you, Ali. You deserve our super chat.
Thank you.
Thank
yeah,
you.
soon.
Thank
couple weeks.
So.
Sarah Ocean says, from no on when I go to the washroom, I'm just going to say I'm going to the Hajj. Oh, from now on when I go to the washroom, I'm just going to say I'm going to the Hajj. Fair enough?
Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. I feel you. Okay.
Shannon Moore says Durka stock. So there's Woodstock, which is like a in the 70s. Yeah. It was like where people
my
went
God, Ali,
to,
I'm so glad you're here because I wouldn't get these. I wouldn't get these. Thank you for that. See these. Thank you, Shannon.
Wait, what do you call this person?
John.
John says it was built on an old Ottoman fortress. What was?
Oh, the clock tower, I think.
Oh,
interesting. Thank you, John. John has interesting facts. The more you know. Thank you, John. It's for the super chat.
NCAP says Prez not helping Ukraine equals he won't help Iran. In my opinion, no.
I wouldn't say President Trump is not helping Ukraine. President Trump is helping Ukraine be more self-reliant. He's still selling weapons to Ukraine. I think selling weapons to Ukraine is better than doing charity to Ukraine. And also, President Trump, even though he's stopping, he has a bad relationship with NATO, he's doing a lot of arms sales to Poland. And Poland being, heavily weaponized, is also in favor of anti-Russian, military strength. So I do. Oh, this means that we have to go to our discussion group. Yeah. So I wouldn't say President Trump is not helping Ukraine.
Yeah. Also, the pattern here, right? President Trump wants Europe to pick up more of the weight to help Ukraine, and President Trump wants the Persian Gulf Arab countries to pick up more of the weight when it comes to going against Iran.
And then
Gingersaurus says Donald J. Trump should attack during the Hajj, and when the IRGC would retaliate, and then the Muslims would turn against Iran. Javid Shah.
Yes.
What a nefarious tactic.
Wow, Ginger's like screaming. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. Okay. I like that. Ginger's sitting. That is an amazing suggestion. You should do an evil laugh there too. Okay. All right, let's go. We have only 10 minutes.
John says, Hussein resorts to dumb ad hominem often. Clueless. Yeah, well, he should stop doing that.
No, fuck him. Let him expose himself. Yeah. Yes. Is Ginger still here? Because I want to see him. I hope he saw us reacting to it.
I'll read the next one, see if he says something.
Okay.
Nare says, Iranians defied Islam and preserved our language and culture for 1,400 years despite ambitions of Muslims, unlike the very much Arabized Muslim Syria. That's an excellent point, Nare. That's an excellent point.
That is an excellent response, Nare. Love you. Oh my God. Fantastic. Can you quote? Oh my God. Can you respond to him with that?
Yeah. Smart.
Oh my God. That response. Fantastic. Genius, Nare. Okay.
Leo says 37.
We got 37. 37, Leo, is our superior counter to YouTube's broken counter which is one of the best things that has happened to this channel, is that the YouTube counter is broken because now we have our community involved in the counting. So thank you, YouTube, for not working. Okay, thank you, Leo. Okay, guys. So we're going to go to our discussion group. And I'm going to also live stream it here on Liberty Politics. So you could, or wherever you're watching this from, watching on X, 1,200 people are watching us. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of people who are watching us on X. And Ali's channel, people are watching us. So, and Secular Jihadist people are watching us. On Twitch, people are watching us. So, yeah, so everywhere that you're watching us, we will go live again in about 7 minutes. So, see you guys there. But also, just don't just come and watch us. Consider coming and into the discussion group and talking to us there so that we could hear you as well. Guys, remember, the discussion group is where we are raising an army. This is not just a discussion group. This discussion group will one day turn into a base of operations for our political goals, pro-liberty political goals. That's the eventual goal here. So come, get in early. Get into the discussion group early. All right, guys. So, yes, see you in about 7 minutes. I'm Israel Chai. Slava Ukrainian. Long live America.
Long live America. Javid Shah.
Javid Shah. Payan de Iran.
Payan de Iran.